They thought they could silence Elon Musk. They underestimated the man who thrives in storms. Every attempt to break him only fuels his fire. And today, that fire burns brighter than ever. You see, Elon doesn't play by their rules. He never bows to pressure, money, or politics. When corporations tried to corner him, he laughed. When governments whispered threats, he pushed harder. This is not just a story of business. It's a battle between vision and manipulation, between one man's truth and an empire's control. And somehow Musk keeps winning, again and again. Let's rewind to the moment it all erupted. An interview, a simple question, and raw honesty. The world watched as Elon said the unthinkable. "If you're trying to blackmail me with money, go yourself." That sentence shook the entire corporate world. It wasn't polished. It wasn't diplomatic. It was real. And in that moment, millions saw the truth. Elon Musk doesn't fear losing advertisers. He fears losing integrity. That outburst wasn't anger, it was liberation. It was a declaration of independence from manipulation. Because when you've faced failure, rockets exploding, and endless doubt, you stop fearing those who hide behind money. Imagine this scene: cameras flashing, critics sharpening their knives, executives whispering behind closed doors, "He's gone too far." They didn't understand that Elon doesn't go too far. He goes exactly where others are afraid to go. Behind that storm of controversy lies a deeper truth. Elon Musk is not just an entrepreneur, he's a symbol of defiance in a world built on obedience. While others play safe, he gambles everything for innovation. They call him reckless. They call him arrogant. But history always mocks geniuses before it honors them. Tesla was impossible until he proved it wasn't. SpaceX was insane until it became NASA's partner. As the dust settled, corporations panicked. Disney pulled ads. Others followed like scared sheep. But while they retreated, something extraordinary happened. X didn't crumble. It surged with new life. Because when you silence truth, people crave it more. And Elon knew this game better than anyone. He didn't apologize. He doubled down with a smile. And that's when the war truly began. The media painted him as reckless, out of control. But what they didn't see was the strategy underneath. Every attack, every headline only fueled his mission. He was turning chaos into energy, and enemies into fuel. They tried to harm him, but they forgot one thing. You can't defeat a man who stopped fearing loss, and Elon Musk had already lost it all before. He's not defending a company anymore. He's defending a belief. That truth should never be bought. That innovation should never bow to fear. And that courage, real courage, is priceless. What came next shocked even his harshest critics. They thought Elon would apologize or retreat quietly. Instead, he leaned forward, smiled, and pressed harder. He wasn't done talking. He was just getting started. The media headlines screamed chaos and controversy. Boardrooms panicked. Stockholders whispered about collapse. But Elon, he walked into the storm with confidence. Because when you own your truth, storms feel like fuel. Behind the cameras, advertisers pulled their deals overnight. Disney, Apple, and others thought they'd cripple X. They believed pulling money could bend his will. But Musk doesn't bend. He builds new systems instead. He once said, his mind feels like a storm that never stops creating, breaking, rebuilding. And that storm now turned its fury toward his enemies. Every attack only made his vision grow sharper. He started talking openly about freedom and manipulation. He exposed the quiet power of hidden influence, how corporations use money to control speech and truth, and how he'd rather go broke than be their puppet. It wasn't just defiance, it was revelation. Millions suddenly realized how deep the control ran. Elon had ripped the mask off the entire system, and once truth is seen, it cannot be unseen. His haters called him dangerous and unstable, but his supporters saw something far more powerful. A man unafraid to risk everything for authenticity. Someone who valued principles over profit or peace. Then came the moment that flipped everything upside down. A viral clip appeared. A professor talking about Musk. He said Elon was breaking the traditional hero's journey, that his story felt ancient, almost Greek in its tragedy. Because heroes don't win by following rules, they defy them. They chase ideals bigger than their own reputation. And that's exactly what Musk was doing on global scale. He wasn't chasing wealth, he was chasing purpose. The professor called it begrudging admiration. When people hate what they secretly respect. Because deep down, they wish they had that courage too. The courage to stand alone and still stand tall. And that's when the hypocrisy became painfully clear. Critics mocked him, but couldn't stop talking about him. They called him arrogant, but hung on his every tweet. They tried to cancel him, but couldn't look away. His so-called haters turned into obsessed admirers. They studied him, attacked him, mimicked him endlessly. Every insult they threw was secretly admiration in disguise, because the human mind can't stop watching power. Meanwhile, Tesla's numbers kept climbing sky high. SpaceX kept launching rockets like it was routine. And X, the platform they tried to destroy, kept growing. The harder they hit, the higher he rose. It's poetic, isn't it? The more they pushed him down, the more unstoppable he became. Because true resilience isn't built in comfort. It's forged in fire, pressure, and relentless attack. Musk once said, "Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough." That line wasn't just about rockets. It was about life. He's failed more than anyone alive, and that's his power. You can't manipulate someone who's already faced ruin. You can't control a man who's tasted rock bottom. That's why their tricks don't work on him anymore. Because he's been through worse and built empires from ashes. Behind every Tesla, every launch, every tweet, lies defiance. Defiance against a world afraid of truth and change. And that defiance terrifies those built on illusion. When you see someone unbothered by wealth or fear, you see freedom in its purest form. And it's contagious. That's why the system turned against him so viciously. Because he reminded people they could be free too. He wasn't just fighting for Tesla or X. He was fighting for the right to speak, to think, to create. And that war is bigger than any company or CEO. By now, the world had split into two camps. Those who hated him and those who secretly admired him. But there was no middle ground anymore. You were either with Musk or pretending not to be. And as the storm kept raging, Elon smiled again. He knew something the world hadn't realized yet. That this war they started would soon consume them too. They couldn't stand watching him win again. Every headline that praised Elon felt like betrayal. So the corporate elite started plotting their revenge. But they had no idea who they were up against. Their plan was simple. Attack his foundation, Tesla itself. Behind closed doors, boardrooms buzzed with secret whispers. They thought they could weaken him from within. But they forgot. This wasn't his first war. Elon Musk has been underestimated his whole life. From sleeping on his office floor at Zip2 to nearly going bankrupt funding SpaceX and Tesla. Pain isn't new to him, it's where he thrives. And when the so-called corporate advisors struck, Elon didn't flinch. He called them out publicly. He exposed their manipulation, their backroom power games. He called them what they were: corporate terrorists. That phrase sent shockwaves through Wall Street overnight. Investors panicked, journalists gasped, politicians scrambled. But the truth had already escaped into the open. And once Elon speaks truth, it can't be caged again. These so-called advisors were never shareholders themselves. They owned nothing, risked nothing, yet controlled everything. They whispered how major funds should vote and act. And those funds obeyed, like puppets on golden strings. Elon had ripped off their mask for the world to see. The illusion of fairness was shattered instantly, and the powerful hated him even more for it. Because now, people started asking dangerous questions. Who really controls the companies we invest in? Why do outsiders decide what success should look like? The system was shaking, and Musk was the trigger. He wasn't just challenging power, he was dismantling it. Then came the twist no one expected. The U.S. government finally started paying attention. Reports leaked that Washington was drafting new orders, rules that could destroy those manipulative firms forever. Headlines flashed: White House targets, proxy power brokers. It was the domino effect Musk had predicted. Expose corruption, and watch the machine devour itself. The same people who tried to bury him were now being investigated under national spotlight. Karma had arrived, and it was perfectly timed. Elon didn't celebrate. He didn't boast or gloat. He just kept building, tweeting, and pushing forward. Because for him, victory isn't about revenge. It's momentum. He fights once, and the world keeps shaking for years. Meanwhile, Tesla's innovation continued without pause. Cybertrucks rolled out. Rockets returned from orbit, and AI projects pushed boundaries no one dared touch. He turned every attack into another stepping stone. Even Delaware, the safe haven of corporations, felt the ripple effect of Musk's defiance. Companies started leaving, choosing freedom over control. Coinbase packed up and moved its base to Texas. What Elon sparked was more than a movement. It was a rebellion against quiet corporate tyranny. He'd become the symbol of independence itself. And even his enemies started to realize that truth. Because while they fought to protect their old world, Musk was already building the next one. A world powered by transparency, courage, and innovation. A world where truth moves faster than manipulation. The irony couldn't be more poetic. The people who tried to silence him amplified his voice. The ones who mocked his failures built his legend. And the ones who tried to destroy him made him immortal. Every empire that fights truth eventually collapses. And Musk had just written the first chapter of their fall. He didn't just win a battle, he changed the rules entirely. Now, the corporate elite were cornered, scared, exposed. They thought they controlled the system, but he rewired it. And this time, there would be no quiet retreat, because Elon Musk had declared war, and truth was his weapon. By now, the entire world had felt it. The shift, the fear, the undeniable awakening. They tried to destroy him, yet made him stronger. They attacked his empire, but built his legend. Every headline meant to shame him backfired spectacularly. Every boycott only brought more eyes to his cause. Because people weren't seeing a billionaire, they saw rebellion. They saw one man standing where others bowed. When Elon moved Tesla's headquarters from Delaware to Texas, it wasn't just a business decision. It was defiance. It was a message to the system that failed integrity. Play fair, or watch me build somewhere else. And just like that, a flood began. Other corporations started following his lead quietly. They saw what courage looked like in real time. And they wanted a taste of that freedom too. Delaware, once the heart of corporate America, trembled. It had never faced a threat this personal before. But Musk doesn't threaten, he transforms. And transformation is far more terrifying than destruction. Meanwhile, his critics kept shouting louder and louder. But the louder they screamed, the smaller they sounded. Because while they argued, Elon kept building the future. He doesn't debate progress. He demonstrates it. Rocket launches became routine. Neuralink pushed the boundaries of human potential. Tesla's AI outperformed expectations again and again. Every move was a statement. I'm still here. His enemies ran out of ideas. Every trap they set, he turned into opportunity. They underestimated how relentless purpose can be. Because a man with a mission never truly loses. And Musk's mission was never about money or fame. It was about evolution, of technology, of thought, of freedom. He isn't chasing power, he's dismantling its illusion. And that's why they fear him more than ever. He's proof that truth can survive any assault, that courage can outlast any empire's control, and that one person's defiance can shake the world. His story became more than headlines. It became a movement, a reminder that innovation isn't born from safety. It's born from those willing to risk everything. And Elon Musk was risking it all. Again. He once said, "I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right." That's his secret. Faith in the impossible. Faith that humanity can still dream without permission. The media keeps trying to define him. Hero, villain, genius, madman, it doesn't matter. Because every label fades, but results remain. And his results are rewriting history in real time. Think about it. Electric cars, private rockets, global satellites. 10 years ago, those were science fiction fantasies. Today, they're normal. And it's because he refused to quit. That's the legacy they tried to erase. But how do you erase a man who never stops writing? Every attack only adds another page to his story. Every failure becomes fuel for the next success. They said he was done. He said, "Watch me." They mocked his vision. He turned it into reality. They tried to silence him. He built a louder world. That's not just resilience. That's revolution. Because Musk didn't just survive their attacks, he evolved. He became something far more dangerous than powerful. He became untouchable. And now, the same world that doubted him is racing to catch up to his shadow. Because love him or hate him, you can't ignore him. And that's the ultimate victory. They tried to harm Elon Musk and Tesla. But instead, they exposed their own corruption. They tried to cage him, but he built new wings. They tried to end him, but he started a new era. The message is clear and eternal. Courage will always outshine control, and truth, no matter how loud the lies get, always finds a voice that refuses to be silenced. So, to the world that doubted him, look closer. You didn't watch a downfall, you witnessed a transformation. And for those still plotting in the dark, remember this: you can't destroy a man who's already conquered fear itself. Because Elon Musk isn't just surviving anymore. He's rewriting the future, one storm at a time.